Welcome to Light Over Heat with Professor David Yamani. I went hunting for the first time in January of this year, and I've been reflecting on that experience in my Substack this week. I want to try something a little bit different, which is to narrate the text of one of those Substack posts. So let me know what you think about that, and if you like it, I can narrate some more of my written texts. Links to all of the Substack posts are in the show notes, and whether you like the narrated version more than the written version, I hope you at least find my reflections on the very first time I went hunting interesting. Let me know what you think. A couple of weeks before attending a gun symposium at Arizona State University early this year, one of the organizers emailed me and asked if I was interested in going hunting while I was in Phoenix. My immediate response was, heck yeah, or something like that. So on January 30, 2025, I went hunting for the first time. Alex Young, Associate Director of ASU's Bridges Initiative for Gun Studies, took me to the desert outside of Phoenix in pursuit of the elusive Gambel's quail. In several hours of hunting, I never got a good enough look at a quail to even take a shot. I also missed a prime bonus opportunity to bag a gadwall, a type of duck. But thanks to Alex and his friend who brought his hunting dog, I had a fantastic time anyway. Those who have read Gun Curious know that my gun story begins with me unintentionally killing a bird with a pellet gun, feeling sick to my stomach, and not touching projectile weaponry again for 30 years. My entry into the world of guns was recreational and defensive, definitely not oriented to hunting. But getting into gun culture brought me closer to hunters socially than I had ever been in my life. This naturally led to numerous casual invitations along the lines of, "If you ever want to go hunting, let me know." The casual nature of the invitations made it easy for me to let them slide. In a dozen years wandering around gun culture, I never took anyone up on their offer. I have no moral qualms with hunting. I am as carnivorous as most people and don't hesitate to order game meats at restaurants that offer it. I just prefer to leave the dirty work to others. The truth is, I did not know whether I could shoot any animal because I worried about how it would make me feel physically and emotionally. On the long pre-dawn drive to the desert west of downtown Phoenix, Alex educated me on how to hunt quail safely and ethically. This set my mind somewhat at ease, even as my stomach fluttered with nervousness and excitement. Of course, Alex's sage advice and the YouTube videos of people hunting Gambel's quail I watched in advance of the trip couldn't fully prepare me for what I was about to experience. Alex loaned me one of his 12-gauge over-under shotguns. This firearm is familiar to me because I have one for clay target shooting like sporting clays. What was unfamiliar was being in the field with two other hunters and a dog. The levels of awareness necessary to safely navigate this situation were higher than any I had previously experienced. Beyond not wanting to Dick Cheney my hunting companions or the dog, I was also challenged to navigate the natural environment that was so foreign to me. Like many contemporary Homo sapiens in the developed world, I am part of an indoor generation, spending the vast majority of my time in enclosed buildings or vehicles. Though I had studied the Gambel's quail beforehand, I had a hard time distinguishing it in flight from other birds. Even worse was when Alex would point to an indistinguishable cluster of brush in the distance and say, "Did you see them there?" I did not. My eyes were simply not attuned to this kind of seeing. Alex would also frequently stop and ask, "Did you hear that?" Hear what? My ears were simply not attuned to the sounds of nature. One part of the natural environment I experienced frequently and directly was the seemingly omnipresent thorny desert bushes we had to navigate. My legs will not soon forget these. After a few hours of scouting and tracking, Alex had shot one bird, his friend had taken a few unsuccessful shots, and I hadn't gotten a single shot off. Alex joked that it was late in the Gambel's quail season and only the smart ones were still alive. The reality was that they weren't abundant in late January and frequently flushed behind me or laterally. When single birds did rise in front of me, I couldn't process what I was seeing quickly enough to get the gun up and on target. No matter, I had a great time on my first quail hunt, and there was some advantage to not having to deal with the experience of actually killing a bird on my first time out. Fortunately, my first hunting experience didn't end with the quail. With a little extra time before we needed to return to the city for work, we ventured off in search of ducks.